Hercules, perhaps the most famous of Roman heroes, was the son of Jupiter and the mortal Alcmene. The story goes that Jupiter disguised himself as Alcmene's husband, Amphitryon, and seduced her the night before Amphitryon himself was to return from a military campaign. Alcmene bore twin sons, one by her husband, named Ithacles, and one by Jupiter, named Hercules, from the Greek, the fame of Hera, as a gesture to appease the goddess who had been humiliated by Jupiter's affair. Juno, however, was not appeased, and sent twin serpents to kill the baby Hercules. Perhaps already showing signs of his divine lineage, even as a baby, Hercules easily dispatched the serpents, strangling them with his bare hands. But Juno was in it for the long game, and let many years slip by before tormenting Hercules again. She waited until Hercules was happily settled with his wife Megara, and started a family. Juno sent divine madness into Hercules, who, in a rage, killed his entire family. Once he recovered his sanity, he sought out the oracle at Delphi for advice on how to atone for his crimes. The oracle told Hercules that he needed to complete 10 tasks for the neighboring king Eurystheus. The king wasted no time, and as his first labor, he sent Hercules off to part of his kingdom to kill the Nemean lion. This was no ordinary lion. Indeed, the skin of the Nemean lion was impervious to mortal weapons. Hercules had to wrestle the lion into submission and slit its throat with its own claws to kill it. He then skinned the lion in the same fashion, and from that time forward wore the skin of the Nemean lion as armor. For his second labor, Hercules was sent to another corner of the kingdom to kill the Lernaean Hydra. The Hydra had many heads which would grow back when cut off. Hercules had to cut each head off individually, and then cauterize the neck shut with a torch to stop it from regenerating. To assist him in this task, he brought along his nephew, Aeolus, to keep the torch burning. Because he received assistance, King Eurystheus refused to count this labor towards Hercules' 10 count, and summarily sent him on his next mission. Hercules' third labor was to catch the golden hind of Diana, alive. This sleek and agile deer had antlers and hooves of pure gold. It took Hercules a full year to track and catch the hind, but after much determination, he was able to do so, and brought the animal dutifully back to Eurystheus. The fourth labor was another animal hunt, but this time the adversary was much more dangerous. Hercules had to capture the Eurymanthian boar alive. The boar was a massive creature with razor-sharp tusks, and had already killed several would-be heroes. Hercules had to drive the beast into a snowdrift in order to overtake it, and again brought the live animal back to the king. The fifth labor was an altogether different task. The fabled king Augeas was so wealthy that he constructed lavish stables which housed over 1,000 animals. Unfortunately, he skimped on the upkeep, and the stables hadn't been cleaned in 30 years. Thankfully, Augeas' buddy, King Eurystheus, was more than happy to put Hercules to task, and gave him only 1 day to complete the job. Even Hercules could not work so quickly, so instead he used his might to divert the bed of a nearby river, and washed away the piles of manure. Though effective, Eurystheus again claimed that Hercules did not perform his duty without help, and did not count this labor towards his total of 10. Hercules was back to death-defying deeds for his sixth labor, where he was to kill the Stymphalian birds. These birds had razor-sharp claws and beaks of bronze, and liked nothing more than to dine on the flesh of humans. Hercules startled the birds with a horn, and then summarily shot them out of the air with his bow. Continuing to put his life in danger, Hercules had to transport the giant, fire-breathing Cretan bull to King Eurystheus for his seventh labor. Refusing the offer of help from Minos, the king of Crete, Hercules wrestled the beast to the ground himself with ease. The eighth labor saw Hercules capture the mares of Diomedes, savage and wild horses that only ate human flesh. Hercules killed their owner, fed him to the mares, and rather calm after a hearty meal, led them off. For his ninth labor, Hercules had to retrieve the girdle of Hippolyta, a golden belt worn by the queen of the Amazons. These warrior women were tricked by Juno into attacking Hercules, and he had to fight his way out to secure the girdle. Hercules was back to capturing animals for his 10th labor, where he stole the cattle of Geryon. Never one to have things go smoothly, the giant Cacus tried to help himself to some of the cattle, and Hercules had to slay him before moving on. The 11th labor drove Hercules across the world, looking for the apples of the Hesperides, the mythical daughters of the Titan Atlas. The problem was that no mortal knew where they lived, so Hercules instead went to Atlas himself. Atlas refused to tell Hercules the location, so Hercules offered to hold Atlas's burden, the heavens, while Atlas retrieved the apple. Atlas complied, but enjoyed his freedom so much that he refused to take back his eternal duty. Hercules tricked the Titan into temporarily taking back the heavens, so Hercules could adjust the weight more comfortably, and escaped with his prize in hand. The 12th and final labor was the mark of a true hero. Hercules had to enter the underworld and return alive, and not just alive, but with Cerberus, the three-headed dog. Pluto agreed to let his guard dog go with Hercules, but it was still no walk in the park. Having completed his labors and atoned for his crimes, Hercules struck out on his own, but continued to accomplish heroic feats. He eventually married again, which unwittingly led to his demise. His new wife, Deianira, was very beautiful, and occasionally drew unwanted attention. On one such occasion, a centaur attempted to abduct Deianira, but Hercules shot the beast with his bow. As the centaur died, he told Deianira to collect some of his blood, because it could be used as a love potion if she ever suspected Hercules of being unfaithful. She kept the blood and eventually soaked a robe with it as a gift for Hercules, when she wrongfully suspected him of being unfaithful. Caught off guard, Hercules donned the robe, and the centaur's blood, in reality a deadly poison, began to eat away at his flesh like acid. Being half-god, Hercules couldn't simply die, and writhed in pain. He built a funeral pyre for himself, and local peasants took pity on him and lit the pile of wood on which Hercules lay. Jupiter saw the smoke from Mount Olympus and mounted his flying chariot. He swooped down to earth and carried the immortal half of Hercules up to the heavens to become a god, while allowing his mortal half to burn away. Thus ends the tale of Hercules.